Hello friends, today in this video we will design a rectangular microstrip patch antenna in HFSS software. So I will make this video in two parts. In the first part I will show the design part, and in the second part I will show the analysis part, that is the results and analysis. So to design this rectangular patch antenna, first of all we will design the dimensions of this antenna using the online calculator. So this is the online calculator, which is actually a website. I will give the link in the description. This is the pasternak.com. So here there are several calculators, and here you have to click on this rectangular microstrip antenna calculator. So here first of all you have to give some entries here. So I am using this antenna in a FR4 substrate. So for FR4 the dielectric constant is 4.4 and the dielectric height is 1.6 millimeter, and the operating frequency I am choosing 5.2 GHz. I will design this antenna for WLAN 5.2 GHz frequency. So click on calculate. This will calculate the length and width of this rectangular patch. So let's open this HFSS software, and here you have to click on this icon new. So a new project will come, and here you have to click on this option insert HFSS design. So if you click, this window will come, and here I will design this antenna step by step. So first I will design the patch of this antenna. So to design the patch is a 2D structure. So I will design a 2D rectangle first. So first of all I will arbitrarily design a rectangle. Then I will edit the coordinates and the dimensions of the patch from here. So first of all I will change the color of this patch as yellow. Then from here the create rectangle option, I can change the coordinates and dimensions. So to set the coordinates and dimensions, first of all you have to define a particular vertex of this patch. So I am choosing this vertex. So what will be the coordinates of this vertex, and I will make this antenna symmetric about the coordinate axis. So the coordinates of this vertex will be, the length of the patch is 13.19, so this should be minus 13.19 by 2, and the y coordinate will be minus 17.54 divided by 2, and I will keep the patch on the xy plane. So z coordinate will be 0. And what will be x size? X size should be 13.19. that is the length of the patch, because I am aligning the length of the patch along the x axis. And y size will be the width of the patch, that is the 17.54 millimeter. So click on OK. So this will design your patch. Now I will design the ground plane. So what will be the dimension of the ground plane? There is no calculation for the designing of the ground plane. So in general we take 3h, where h is the substrate height. We take 3h from all the sides of the patch, that is surrounding the patch. I will leave a space of 3h. Okay, so what will the dimension in total? The total length of this ground will be L plus 6h, and the width will be W plus 6h. So accordingly I will design the ground plane. So to design the ground planes in the same way, I will design a 2D rectangle first arbitrarily, then I will assign the dimensions and the coordinates, and also I will assign the color first, and I will keep green for the ground. And from here create rectangle, I have to give the coordinates and also the dimensions. So what will the coordinates of this vertex? This will be minus 13.19 divided by 2 minus 3 into h. H is the substrate height, that is 1.6 mm, and y coordinate will be the same way, 17.54 divided by 2 minus 3 into h. Okay, and what will be the z coordinate? The substrate height is 1.6 mm, and I have put the patch on the xy plane. So the ground plane will lie below the xy plane, and the width will be, the height will be 1.6. So the z coordinate must be minus 1.6 mm. So x size will be 13.19 plus 6 into h, it is 1.6, and y size should be 17.54 by 2, sorry, not by 2, plus 6 into h, that is 1.6 mm. Click on OK. So this will design your ground plane. So the ground is designed. Now I will design the substrate material. So the substrate is a 3D structure, so for that I will take the 3D box from here. So arbitrarily I will design the box first, then from here I will change the coordinates and the dimensions. So first of all I will assign the material in this box. So the material should be FR4, and for that you click here edit, and FR4 is there in the library of HFSS, so you need not add it manually from here. So you can just click on FR4 epoxy and click on OK. And also I will make it little bit transparent for better visibility of the patch and the ground. Okay, click on OK. So material is assigned. Now I will set the dimensions. So the dimension of the box will be similar to the ground, right? Because it has only the height. The x and y dimensions should be same as the ground plane. So what should be the position, the coordinates of the leftmost vertex? This should be minus 13.19 divided by 2 minus 3 into h, that is 1.6 mm. And the y coordinate should be minus 17.54 divided by 2 minus 3 into h. And the x size should be 13.19 plus 6 into h, and the y size should be 17.54 plus 6 into h, and the z size should be minus 1.6 mm, right? So this will span from 0 to minus 1.6. So see, the substrate material is designed. From below it is touching the ground, and from top it is touching the patch of this antenna. So now I have to design the feed line. So here I will use the microstrip line feeding technique. There are several feeding techniques of microstrip antennas, like coaxial feeding, microstrip line feeding. Okay, so here I will use the microstrip line feeding, and the feed line I will use along the x-axis, that is in this position. So to calculate the dimension of the feed line, I will use the same calculator from here. So here there is another calculator, microstrip calculator. You need to click here. So here you have to give the dielectric constant, that is 4.4. The height is 1.6 millimeter, that is the substrate height, and the width you can choose it by trial and error method. The impedance of this feed line should be 50 ohm, because the port I will connect, I will use the port of 50 ohm, so the feed line impedance should also be of 50 ohm for impedance matching purpose. So by trial and error you can choose the width from here. So if I put the width 3 millimeter, the impedance comes near about 50 ohm. So this is 50.8, but this is okay, I can use this value 3 millimeter. So I will use the width of this feed line as 3 millimeter. So let's go back to the design and construct the feed line. So for that I will draw an arbitrary rectangle in the same way, and I will choose the same color of the patch, because this will be connected with the patch only. And what will be the dimensions? So first of all I will define this vertex, then I will give the dimensions. Okay, so this should be 13.19 divided by 2, and this should be minus 3 by 2, and that coordinate should be 0 because this is on the same plane of the patch. So x size should be 3 into 1.6 and the y size should be 3. Okay, click on OK. So the feed line is designed. Now I have to combine this feed line with this patch because they are connected. So for that you select the patch first, then press and hold the control key, then click the feed line, then come here. Here there are some options. These options are called boolean. So the first option is unite. You have to click this unite option. Okay, see, now the feed line and the patch is combined together. Now I have to design the web port, the LAN port. Okay, for microstrip line feeding in HFSS, generally we provide the LAN port. Okay, and to provide the excitation of this antenna, you have to use a port plate. So this is also a rectangular plate, but this port will join here. So this will be in the YZ plane. So first of all you have to change the plane first, and you have to set it YZ plane, then you design the port plate from here. Okay, I'm making the color red since it is the port of this antenna, and also the dimensions you have to choose from here. Dimension, it should be 13.19 divided by 2. This should be minus 1.5, let it be, and the Y size should be 3 and the Z size should be minus 1.6. And one thing, this X size, the X coordinate is wrong actually. You have to modify it because this port should come here. So you can modify it like this. This should be 13.19 by 2 plus 3 into 1.6. Now see, the port has come in the assigned place. Okay, so this is the antenna. The antenna design process is over. Now the analysis part I will show in the next part of this video. So thanks for watching.